Hey, Marianne DeNovellis here with Six Figure Mastermind. Maybe you're wondering how to become a life coach. Maybe this is a question that's been on your mind for a long time. Maybe you just started and want to get in the business. In this video, we're going to give you the 3 M's of what it takes to become a master life coach. Hey, Marianne DeNovellis here, and you're wondering how to start a life coaching business. Maybe you felt the call inside of you like I felt inside of me. Maybe you even felt the kick in the pants that says, you've got to share your message with the world, and now it's time. And now you're wondering, what do I do? What are the first steps to take? And I'm here to tell you that there are 3 essential elements that you need to step into in the world of becoming a life coach. The first one is your message. And it seems obvious, doesn't it? I mean, in order to become a life coach, you've got to have something to share with the world. So, what is your message? How do you share your message? How do you define your message? The most people I work with, they tell me one thing. They say, you know, Marianne, I've got so many things in my world that have been part of my reality. They've been problems I've overcome. I got so many things I can talk about. Which one do I pick? And that's what I've been confronted with over and over and over again. And you know what happens? Unless you go forward, you're going to get stopped by what I call analysis paralysis. I've spent so much time thinking about what I'm going to do that I never actually do it. So here's how we clear up your message. Here's how we define your message, what you get to share the world. What have you overcome? What have you busted through? What was something super challenging in your world that you came out on the other side victorious? Maybe it's a health challenge. Maybe you were overweight, or you had health problems, or chronic disease, or you overcame some massive health challenge in your world. Along the way, you learned some principles, some guidelines, some steps, and now you're in a place of mastery with it. Maybe you have some personal power that you've totally stepped into. Maybe at one point you were not very confident, or you didn't feel like you could talk in public. You know, public speaking is the number one fear out of the entire world, next to death, and I think the third one's actually spiders. So maybe you've overcome that and you've come up on top, and you're saying, I feel confident, now I can speak in public, but I just don't know what to say. You can speak about speaking. You can speak about your personal power journey. You can share how you've overcome anything that kept you back in the world of being shy or overwhelmed, or anything that used to take down your personal power. Maybe you've had a relationship that was on the rocks or really rough, and maybe you've mastered that. Maybe it's with a child or a spouse or a coworker, and you've learned how to take that relationship, master it using key principles, and now you're on the other side where you have magnificent relationships with your children or with your spouse or with your coworkers. Maybe your challenge was like mine and it was financial. If you're anything like me, you know what it feels like to be negative in your bank account. And now, if you've learned some key principles along the way, you're on the other side of that. Maybe you have a rags to riches story. Maybe you were the underdog. You get to share that story. What we love to know is, what was that middle section? What took you from this is the tough place over here to this is the mastery place over here? We want to know what simple things we can do. And here's what's so important to know about your specific message. It's got to be easy to follow. It's got to be simple, and it's got to be relatable. Easy to follow means I've got 3 simple steps. Or I've got 5 elements that made this work for me. Or I've got the A to Z on how I got from here to here. It's got to be easy to follow. It's got to be relevant. People want to know what you've been through. Now is the time to get vulnerable. You get to share the hardest parts. You get to share the yuck and the muck that you've been through. This is what we mean when we say your mess becomes your message. You've got to be able to share that openly and publicly with people. And being vulnerable is the key to that. Vulnerability is the linchpin for connection. And in order for you to have amazing connection with your clients, they've got to know your story. So with your message, make sure that it's something that means something to you, that's important to you, something that you feel passionate about, something that when you get on that stage, you've got 90 seconds to 2 minutes and you could go on and on and on and share passionately from your core what it is that's so important to you and why it's important to everyone in your audience. Number 2, you've got to have modality. Now, what do we mean by modality? It's kind of a vague word. Modality could be anything, and here's my definition of modality. It's how you share your message with the world. What is it that you know how to do? Maybe you're a musician and you know how to create beautiful music, either with your voice or with an instrument or something that you've masterfully conquered. Maybe your modality is writing a book. Couple that with your message and you've got an excellent way to serve people. Maybe your modality is a mental mastery. Maybe it's something that you have totally conquered in the mental game. Because as a life coach, that's got to be an element of what you do. Maybe your modality is massage therapy. Maybe your modality looks like something different, but this is the way that you share your expertise and knowledge with the world. My modality is called Belief Breakthrough, and I couple this with everything that I do. And let's try it on for a minute, because as a life coach, you're definitely going to have some blocks come up for you because you're on this video, you're wondering how to do it. Obviously, there's a reason why you haven't jumped into it fully yet. So let's figure out what's getting in your way. Belief Breakthrough looks like this. I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to just figure out what's not working for you, because Belief Breakthrough is all about changing that thought pattern from what's not working to what will actually serve you. So let's get started. First question. What is the number one limiting belief that comes up for you when you ask yourself, why do I want to be a life coach? Or I want to be a life coach. I promise you, if you're anything like me, you got a whole list of stuff that comes up for you when you think about moving forward in that arena. Let's just take one, for example. And I'm going to invite you to take a moment, grab out a sheet of paper, write this down. I don't care if you're watching at home or at school, just take out a piece of paper and write something down. When that number one belief comes up, let's just take, for example, that I don't know how. Analysis paralysis comes back to play again. We stop ourselves, we slam on the brakes when we have this idea that we don't know how. Now let me just ask you, is that idea working for you? Is it serving you? What is the cost of believing that you don't know how? Do you want it to be true? And I got to tell you, if you're in the life coach arena, you got to get rid of that idea as soon as possible, because I can guarantee you, even if you have full power on the gas, this is going to slam on your brakes like no other. Any limiting belief will do that for you. So here's the third question. We've identified our limiting belief. We've counted up the cost. We understand that it's not going to serve us in our goals. Now we need to know what's going to serve us better. So ask yourself this question. What will serve me better in my journey? Not this idea that I don't know how. Not this idea that I can't because I'm not sure what to do. Try this one on. I know exactly what my next step is. And if you know exactly what your next step is, your brain gets to open up. It's like a total mind blow. Your brain will give you the answer, what exactly your next step is along your journey. And all you need to do is take it step at a time. You don't need to worry about the 5th step from now. You don't need to worry about the 3rd step from now. All you need to worry about is what your next step is, and you are entitled to that information. So your modality, whatever it is, you get to bless the world with it. Whatever you are gifted with, that's what you get to share with the world. Number 3, and here's possibly one of the most important things that you need to know in becoming a life coach. You've got your message, you've got your modality, but who are you going to share it with if you don't have a following? And that's why the third M, in addition to message and modality, is the masses. You've got to be able to find your people. You've got to find your target audience. And what do we mean by your target audience? Well, I mean this. When you share your message, you need to know who you're sharing it with. You've got to understand your audience. You've got to understand what their problems are, what they're struggling with, what are they doing to get through life, and what's their biggest block. And I got a clue for you. If you ever want to know your ideal client, take a look at yourself a few years ago. That's a pretty good example of what you're looking for. Find your masses. And in our other videos and in our other series, we're going to share you how to explicitly use social media to find your message. We're going to share with you how you can use your book and everything else that you're creating to find the perfect clients for you. But here's the most important thing. You need to know who it is that you're looking for. Every time that you make a post on social media, every time that you share with someone on the street, every time that you're in front of any crowd of people, whether it's on stage or one-on-one, you've got to know who you're talking to, and you need to know who's looking for you. So ask yourself this series of questions. Are they a man or a woman? How old are they? What are their interests, their hobbies? What do they do for fun? What are the words that trigger them and make them really nervous and scared? What are the words that mean they're looking for this? Maybe they're looking for fulfillment. Maybe they're looking for joy. Maybe they're looking for more passion. Maybe they're looking to grow their wealth. You've got to know the exact words and key phrases that are going through their minds over and over and over again so you can speak directly to it. And we're not just looking for small numbers of masses here. If you know that you need to bless the entire world, you've got a huge slice of the pie in front of you that you've got to get in front of. So be leveraging your social media, be leveraging your circles of influence in your community, in your religious affiliation, in your social affiliation, in definitely your media affiliation. Get in front of as many people as possible, and don't be afraid to share what it is that you're doing. Don't be afraid to share that you're stepping into life coach arena. In fact, when you do, you will find that a lot of people will rally around and support you, especially as you're starting out, so that you can get the massive influence that you're looking for. If you implement those 3 M's of becoming a life coach, you're going to have a mastery business in no time. Take a moment, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell below, and just give me some feedback on what your thoughts are and why you want to make it as a life coach.